Breaking news. Early this morning, deputies with the Greenville County Sheriff's Office responded to a shooting near Anderson Road and Seaburn Line. They found an adult male with at least one gunshot wound and rushed him to the hospital. His condition remains unknown and no suspects have been identified. If you have any information, you're asked to call Greenville Crime Stoppers at 864-23-CRIME.
A Gaffney man has been sentenced to life in prison for child sex abuse. According to the 7th Circuit Solicitor's Office, 46-year-old Daniel Machito Buxton repeatedly abused a young girl from 2020 to 2022. Buxton was later found guilty of criminal sexual conduct with a minor, and he has been sentenced to life in prison without parole.
Well, a 7 News update. 3 people have now been charged after 2 inmates escaped from the Union County Detention Center. You probably remember this story. According to the Sheriff's Office, deputies were contacted by the Georgia State Patrol on July 29th in regards to 2 inmates who had escaped from the jail. Investigators say they were unaware of the incident because the Sheriff's Office doesn't run the jail. They launched an investigation. Deputies have now charged 31-year-old Cassandra Bailey, 41-year-old Bradley DePrater, and 41-year-old Catherine Granger with accessory after the fact to a felony. Authorities say the incident remains under investigation.
Malachi, thanks. The Spartanburg Police Department is offering now $5,000 to get information that leads to the arrest of those involved in a deadly shooting of a 7-month-old baby. Previously, we reported that Zymir DeMarco Smith was shot and killed on Sunday. This shooting happened on Collins Avenue, and police are urging anyone with information to call in to Crime Stoppers at 1-888-CRIME-SC. Now at 6, astronaut James Lovell has died. Lovell was the commander of the Apollo 13 mission. The 1970 mission to the moon became known as a successful failure. This after the spacecraft experienced an oxygen tank explosion thousands of miles from Earth, but managed to safely return home. Lovell was the command module pilot for 1968's Apollo 8 mission, the first to carry humans to the moon and back, though it did not land on the lunar surface. Lovell was 97 years old.
Good evening. Thanks for staying with us in this half hour. Students are, of course, heading back to school in South Carolina, and the state's attorney general is now urging parents to have conversations with their kids about online safety and also the dangers of fentanyl.
Our State House reporter sat down with the attorney general in an interview you'll see only on 7.
Attorney General Alan Wilson says students face deadly risks from online and from pills, and he's urging parents to talk to their children before school starts.
Once you've been harmed or once you've lost your life, we can go after the bad guy, but preventing it is really what we're talking about. An ounce of prevention is worth more than a pound of cure.
One mother, Holly Alsobrooks, wishes she had that conversation with her son Cody, who died from a singular pill she says was laced with fentanyl.
I had spoken to Cody about alcohol, and I had told him there's worse things out there, than alcohol. You need to be careful. I think back and think, what could I have done?
She says it could have changed everything.
One night, one poor choice, and his life is over. And in a sense, a part of mine is as well.
Also, Brooks agrees with Wilson and says this is something parents must do.
We as parents have to say something, and the knowledge is out there now. The information is out there. Don't think that your child is not doing it. Your child may not be doing it. Their friend might be doing it, and they don't know what to do about it.
Wilson says another danger is online predators who are using social media to manipulate children, sometimes without parents ever knowing.
Parents have to have conversations with kids about how they put information out on the internet, what social media apps they're using, who they communicate with, what are your privacy settings, what are your tracking settings.
AG Wilson says he's working with law enforcement and schools to expand prevention resources.
In Columbia, Caroline Yaffa, 7 News.
And the AG is working with law enforcement and schools to expand prevention resources. You can check out the story on WSPA.com to learn more.
It seems everywhere you turn, there's a new housing development popping up in the upstate, and one new neighborhood coming to Greenville is getting a big response from people who live near it. 7 News' Lauren Miller spoke with people in the area.
Planned here off of Lawrence Road is a mixed-use project, a 4-story building with 244 residential units and retail space. Currently, 1439 Lawrence Road is a vacant lot with rusted fencing and locks, discarded wire, and random cement blocks. But developers have a new future in mind. They're calling it Lawrence Enclave, a 4-story building that includes retail shops and 10% workforce housing, along with open space, wide sidewalks, and a parking structure. Developers say it hits the mark when it comes to the Greenville 2040 plan, something adopted by the city to address affordable housing and open space. Rashonda Austin agrees with the need for housing.
People that are here do need a place to stay.
But she says it can be a little worrisome when it comes to navigating the area.
It's definitely going to increase traffic. So I guess every road might be like Woodruff Road. Hopefully it'll be something that's more affordable just because we have a lot of poverty in our area.
We also spoke with Ian Patton, who says he's on the fence too.
Obviously, I don't want the prices to go up. You know, I still think it's pretty expensive. It's getting more expensive day by day. But I do think, you know, having mixed-use housing is a good idea.
The city of Greenville says construction could begin in late 2025. In Greenville, Lauren Miller, 7 News.
And the city's planning commission approved phase 1 of the project. However, developers still need to go through the permitting process. Upstate teachers and students are getting back into the swing of things at school.
7 News' Julia Keener spoke with a doctor who shared some simple information to help parents keep the kids on track.
As kids head back to class, doctors say staying healthy is just as important as learning. Dr. Sonia Joseph with Spartanburg Regional says one of the most important and often overlooked factors is sleep.
Sleep is very important for the overall well-being of our kiddos. It can help with concentration, creativity, mood regulation, and even help with their physical growth.
Joseph also says they may need more sleep than you think.
Preschool age kids, the ideal amount of sleep is going to be anywhere from 10 to 13 hours per night. For kids age 6 to 12, you typically want to get them more like 9 to 12 hours of sleep per night. And for our teenagers, we range from 8 to 10 hours per night.
While a good night's rest is essential, so is a healthy start to the day. Joseph says breakfast really is one of the most important meals.
Healthy breakfast would include lean proteins, whole grains, and healthy fats. So good examples of that would be nut butters, whole grain toast, oatmeal, fruits are a great option to hopefully keep them full and focused during the day.
Joseph reminds parents to pack snacks, water, and communicate a plan for lunch to keep their kids focused on learning, not on their hunger.
As long as they can pick a good protein, a vegetable, and a fruit, that is usually going to be a well-balanced lunch. So whether that be at school or something they bring from home, as long as they kind of can incorporate those type of food groups, that should be good.
One last thing to remember before heading out the door, and it may surprise you, is check the weight of your child's backpack.
A good weight recommendation for your child's backpack would be no more than 5 to 10% of their body weight. And it's also good to make sure they have nice thick backpack straps to help distribute that weight evenly.
In Spartanburg, Julia Keener, 7 News.
And doctors say the beginning of the school year is also a time where your child may be exposed to new illnesses, and they remind parents a good rule of thumb is to keep your child home until they have been fever-free 24 hours.